Guys, on Wednesday, me, my teammates, couple of my friends, we got the news about one of the teammates and friend passed away with a brain injury, Mike, and he left 3 kids and a wife, just have a new baby born, and he's an amazing guy, law enforcement, squad team. Guys, have no words for this victory because it means a lot to me. Mike was a great person and I hope he's proud of me. By the way, guys, in my IG, thank you so much. In my IG, in my bio, they have a GoFundMe. I know money can bring him back, but man, if you feel something on your heart and you wanna help his family, a little generosity, if your heart, it's gonna be so much. I really, really appreciate you guys, all right? Thank you so much.
If you will, join me in a moment of silence for Deputy Mike Millerstadt. I have linked Mike's GoFundMe. It's in the episode notes. If you'd like to make a donation for his wife and his children in this tragic event. Thank you.
Fat, come on. You know we had to do a podcast, right?
What's your name, fat buddy?
Of course, you were looking food. What the hell?
I'm not fat. I'm big bone.
I'm going to eat it.
You owe me for 1 jelly donut!
Fat motherfucker.
Listen to it. My wife said no one's gonna listen to us.
I've got bigger titties than you did!
Bullshit, because nobody fucking had geese back at that point for a thicker guy.
I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I might be somebody's shot of whiskey.
You can't think about, hey, I need to lose 100 pounds, and think about winning that day.
Fucking, I want a cheeseburger and a milkshake.
Yo, what's up, fatleets, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I know I've been on a couple weeks hiatus, and I apologize. Been real busy with the move of our school, and what else? Training, helping my teammates train for Pans, going to Pans. Having Pans in Orlando was amazing. As I was standing there ordering my acai, looking at the mats and just taking it all in, I was very disappointed in myself that I didn't sign up prior to the triathlon. My idea was, after the triathlon, I'll sign up. And I didn't. And by the time I went to sign up, it was closed. And I didn't bother to see. I didn't even know you can add to the wait list. So that's my fault. It was great to be in that building amongst all the jiu-jitsu superstars that were there. And like I said, I was just disappointed in myself that I didn't give myself that chance to compete at Pans. You know, it would have been nice to have another Pans medal up there hanging on my wall. Even if the last one was a participation trophy, it would have been nice to add another one to it. But yeah, so Saturday, Saturday, March 18th, did our kids class. We did an adult class right after. And I mean, that day we started moving the mats, getting everything over to the new gym, trying to set it all up. And while we're not 100% done, we're open for business. We're operational, and that's great. Man, it's the old gym. I started going there in 2013. Started going there, and obviously for the last 10 years, that place that was home. You know, it does feel different to be in a new spot, but it's exciting at the same time. It's a much different layout. We have our own spot. We share a building with we rent space from a CrossFit gym, and same name, Tough as Nails CrossFit. And while we may be different schools, we are one family. The people who do CrossFit know a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys and vice versa. And, there's a lot of cross in between them too. But it's, the new gym is just amazing, and I can't wait to see what we do. To see what we do there, like to see where we've come, and scrolling through pictures and seeing 10 years of 9, because we started the kids class in February of 2014, right? So 9 years of kids classes at our old spot, and with the exception of the 2 years that I was in Fort Myers, like I was there the whole time. See, some of our kids, they've gone on, they moved up to other sports and stuff. But it's, man, they're still my kids. And, just to see the growth that we've had with our kids program is amazing. And we continue to grow, and I can't wait to see, what happens in 2 years, in 5, over the next 10, it's going to be, it's exciting. It's very exciting, and I just can't wait. Obviously I can't wait. I don't want the time to pass. But it's going to be beautiful to see, and look back on. And the same thing goes for, our adult program. It's consistently growing. I'm excited because not only did my wife join, and now teach and learning with us. I said teaching. I'm beginning to teach my wife jiu-jitsu, and that's fun itself. But I got a coworker that came, and unlike the last coworker that came and didn't listen to me, broke fall wrong, and injured his rib. I got this. I got another fellow employee coming, and man, it's exciting to see how much he enjoys it, and we talk a lot of several times at work about training, about life, and just like that training life balance. And I remember being where he's at, right, in a new white belt, trying to learn, trying to get acclimated to the sport, and Whereas like I would be, if I did 2 classes a week, I felt amazing. Like it was great. I wouldn't try to push myself to do more classes. And so seeing where he's at, and he's like, oh man, it's hard. It takes me a day to recover. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that. And how now, I train for most times 5-6 times a week, if I'm lucky. Most Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to catch me at lunch. That's what I'm doing. My lunch is jiu-jitsu. Obviously Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays are, Tuesdays, Thursdays nights are my kids class. And then I have to do adult after. Saturday mornings are my kids class. Then a Friday night we do open mat. So just there 6 days a week. If I'm lucky, I can hit all my classes, have a great week of jiu-jitsu, right? For me, that's ideal. And obviously, I've worked up to that, because I remember being pretty much going, and I wasn't sedentary in the fact that I didn't do anything when I started jiu-jitsu. I had started riding my mountain bike, and I was riding the mountain bike in preparation for that bike MS that I never did, right? So in preparation for that, so I was just doing that. It was just biking, and did a couple miles every day, and it wasn't, believe me, it wasn't anything like as intense as I even did for training for the triathlon, right? Plus, on a fat tire bike, man, it's hard to go distance on a fat tire bike. Plus, when I was 300 pounds, man, sitting on a bike, even with it's funny, about 2 years ago, maybe even 3, I had a coworker who had this 29er stunt jumper, an older one, right? Or it was a 26er. Anyways, he had this hard seat, and he was like, man, I don't enjoy this seat. And I go, hey, you want to switch? I go, because I have the seat that's too padded, and I don't like it anymore. And I used to use it all the time. He goes, oh, really? And so we switched seats, and basically my mountain bike now has a seat just like my my road bike. Very, very, very thin, very just small. The seats aren't the most comfortable, but that's why you're important to have like a bike kit, right? Whether it be the shorts with the pads and whatnot. But so when I transitioned and I started jiu-jitsu, it's a totally different movement. Go to show, like I would go bike ride, and I was still smoking a pack and a half of cigarettes a day. I was even after my first jiu-jitsu class, even though I couldn't run around the mat, shrimp correctly, do anything, the first thing I did when I went to the car was light up a cigarette to get, I need my oxygen. So, and in talking with him is like how easily we could get injured in jiu-jitsu, right? Especially when you're coming from a sedentary lifestyle or something that you're not doing. Grappling's tough, right? Grappling's tough on your body. You're trying to post, you're trying to, use your weight against somebody else's and use your pressure and stuff like that. And sometimes, your body's not used to that, the force of another human being coming at you. You're trying to stop 200 pounds and you base out with your hand, and, oh man, I broke a rib or I hurt this, and how easily that happens. And specifically when, when you're new, you try to push yourself a little bit harder. You're not taking days off. It tends to happen. Hell, it tends to happen with people who train consistently 6-7 days a week. Like myself. We're not exempt from injury, right? Like, and we're talking about injury and stuff because obviously, the $46 million lawsuit, right? And from Del Mar Jiu-Jitsu, and I've been trying to wrap my head around this. Like I said, we just moved to school, right? So as a part of a gym owner, it really sets for me a freaky precedence, right? But what? I'm just going through my head right now, just thinking about all the dudes I've, in my time with jiu-jitsu, who I've seen got injured, stopped training from different injuries, and it's 100% an eye opener, right? So, and to be honest, I personally don't agree with the testimony given, and that's a hell of a number. That's a hell of a number, and a hell of a breakdown of what. Actually, let me get that breakdown. So, according to the Daily Beast, right, the damages include $8.5 million for future expenses, $11 million for past pain and suffering, $25 million for future pain and suffering. And yeah, while he's got that dollar figure awarded to him, who has that, right? What jiu-jitsu academy has that? You have you have Fight Sports Miami, right? Like they have this beautiful building. They had a similar incident with Ben Kunzel, and my man, he's out there doing 5Ks and stuff and recovering and trying to do jiu-jitsu and living what he can with after his accident, and that money it's crazy. I'm baffled by it. And then I think what really bothers most people about this is no one's saying not to get compensated for your time, but I think the amount the expert witness charged in Henry Gracie, apparently story has it that he billed over $150,000, and has it actually came out to like 96 or something, $3,000 an hour. And I think a lot of people are more upset about that, specifically with his testimony, because of how what he shared in his testimony. So I did some digging. I was trying to figure out what was the actual the civil crime. What was the actual crime? And what was the jury instructions, right? If I actually went many years ago. I was in the police academy, right? And within that, I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything at all. Just depending on what the instructions to the jury is, that's how they can get whatever verdict they want. But I'm not going to pay the state of California for their records. apparently you got to pay for all of their records, and they're not as public as they are. And you know, they don't want you to go in there and look up certain information, I guess, and because it's pretty much there and not redacted. But realistically, it doesn't look good right now in jiu-jitsu, and I know we practice a somewhat very, very dangerous sport, right? And that news article that's going on in Fox News and everything with this $46 million lawsuit in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's for some families, that may cause them not to go to start doing jiu-jitsu and whatnot. I know my mom saw it and was like, oh, what, you could get hurt. You need to stop doing that. And it's like, that's all right, woman. That's definitely not going to happen. Right. And yeah, I have been hurt. I messed up my knee, messed up my other knee. I've had to get my wrist surgery. My wrist wasn't as bad before jiu-jitsu, and it just, I had a broken scaphoid from when I was 18. It never healed right, and getting wrist lock in jiu-jitsu did not help that, right? And in 2016, I ended up getting a four-corner fusion, which the doctor told me, oh, you need to stop that. You need to stop doing that. You're going to hurt yourself, and the wrist is going to break again. And guess what? You know what? I still get wrist locked on that wrist, and it does hurt. I have far less mobility on the wrist that in question that I had before, and strength wise as well, it's not as strong. And but for the doctor to tell me, oh, you need to quit that, you need to stop doing that, I was like, okay, yeah. And that's not obviously I haven't stopped. As a matter of fact, I do more jiu-jitsu now than back when I had that surgery. So yeah, while we try to, honestly, I've never gone and tried to hurt a training partner, but I can tell you that I have inadvertently hurt somebody, and sometimes it's whether it's my knee is trying to come up and and try to re-guard or something, and my knee hits you in the face, or elbow, and you catch an elbow and stuff. None of that's all that's all accidental. It proves physics that two things can't be in the same space at the same time. Catastrophic things happen. So, we do need to have some, I'm not going to say just some personal responsibility, but yeah, not just for yourself, but for your training partners. So, don't stop training, go train, be careful. Don't hurt yourselves, and see you guys on the mat. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Fat Boy Podcast. Have a nice day.